Said it wasn't on the agenda. Oh, that's not a deal.
Right.
Okay, Jessica, is it Jessica Watson?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hi.
Oh,
So Wabash Valley Power has finished their rebuild of the transmission line over in Hamlet. And they removed the laydown yard. And I have a damage agreement for you guys for the damage from the compaction.
Jessica, is it Jessica Watson?
Yeah.
Oh, there's-
Right. So Wabash Valley Power has finished their
yeah, it's recorded.
rebuild of the transmission line.
Do
over
what?
in Hamlet.
It's
And they
saying everything
removed
she's
the
already
laydown
said.
Why is it
and
doing that?
Damage agreement for you guys for the.
Stupid thing. We need to do it because this one messes up all the time.
Yeah, the recorded. It's saying everything she's already said. Sounds familiar, right?
Yourself.
Right?
This is a rerun. How do I get it off there?
You have a webpage
Real
open?
carefully.
Do I have what?
You have a webpage open, like you put it on YouTube, you gotta close that.
Sounds familiar.
Oh, it's YouTube? This is a rerun. Rachel, help.
That's YouTube, it turns out soon. That's silly.
And they stopped. They're all in slow, no motion.
This, you can't have that up too,
Oh,
so just that one.
okay. Oh, okay. That never happened before. Thank you, Rachel.
Those, is that switch, they gotta turn that switch on too. I think. For the mics.
You hear us, Justin?
I can hear you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right.
Okay. So the work has been completed, the laydown yard has been removed, and so this is just for the crop damages and
Okay.
compaction. So you guys can look at it. The total amount is $2,014.96. I just need one signature there for that, and I have the check. I wasn't exactly sure. Okay. So do you guys have any questions about it? Are you guys okay?
I don't.
I don't either.
Who wants to sign?
I'll sign it.
Okay. And right on the top line. And then I figured the offices would be closed, so I copied everything from the last W-9. If you could sign that also.
Usually I sign that.
Oh, do
You
you
do it.
normally?
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if he wants to.
No,
sign.
you go ahead. You do that.
If you guys don't have, I'm sorry. I
Thank
don't
you.
either finish.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Good luck. You guys look busy today.
Then, Sherry,
Is it blue?
So what did you find out?
Well, here's the.
Cut right to the chase.
Yeah, appreciate that. That was pretty quick. So I've been working with Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel was not in favor of speed bumps, but what we came up with was putting a radar sign up. That would show people's speed.
Have you talked with the sheriff's department too about maybe going out there a couple days each week? Or at least for a couple of weeks? So that their presence and when they would give tickets, that would stop?
We
With
could
the
talk-
speeding?
We could talk to him.
Yeah, because the speed sign, Rachel had two, but she
Yeah.
couldn't get them to work, so the sheriff's department's actually gonna loan us. The highway
Theirs.
department, one of theirs,
Okay,
but that would be in lieu of a bump being on the road.
even the portable ones?
Yeah, she wasn't in favor of putting a portable out there.
Are you in favor of it though?
I can see her concerns and I wouldn't be.
Okay. Going back to our previous discussion about the easement. We decided not to put a pier there because I know that there had been other issues with residents around the lake with the easements
Mhm.
at different roads, so we decided this year not to do it. We have a slip at the public beach. We're gonna keep the boat there this year.
Have you talked to Amy? She knows this.
I have not talked with her.
Might do it soon because she heard you on the last meeting. You
Yeah.
get a hold of her soon.
That's fine, I will. Well, we came up with a couple of different maybe solutions, if you are interested in that. would you be interested in possibly deeding that little piece of property to California Township so that the fire department, the EMTs, and the sheriff's department then would have access to the lake specifically for an accident?
I personally won't pay for that, no.
Would you lease it to us?
We'll let you use it for nothing.
But if you lease it to us, we could have a gated thing across that easement where it would only be used for the first responders.
What, how many feet are you talking?
Well, went out and he said 200 feet for the pier, or for the wide. Probably however it is from the property line of that one house to the beach fence there.
That'd be too much. You have to chip that whole area off.
I don't know how many feet that is. It was a thought. I mean, I know we've
Yeah,
done
we
leases
know,
before,
just because, I mean.
to lease it for $1 for the year, then it would only be,
Yeah, it's not
our
money, and
usage.
I don't mind you guys, my opinion. I thought at least it.
I don't think it's an issue just letting them use it.
That's what I say, yeah, we told you, put a
okay,
pier out and put your
That's what
gate
they're
into the
for.
pier like maybe we
Right.
talked about.
right,
I
I
guess
know.
I almost wanna see though in writing exactly what type of pier and where it's gonna be before there was.
It would be aluminum. You already got a quote, but it was like 25,000.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'd wanna know where on the property, some sort of a sketch, you know, just so we have something documented that this is what was approved. You know, the length of it, where it's gonna be on the.
For next year?
If that's what you're talking about.
Mhm.
I don't think Mike's giving you no okay, just asking to show him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cause it's hard to visualize.
Yeah.
would you want me to just have a sketch and then put it in your mailboxes?
I think
That's
that's.
fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't
that'd be
need me to
fine.
come to another meeting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Any
that way you don't-
specs, you know, any specs on the pier and the
You don't-
location.
Put-
4 feet by, each section's 4 feet wide, 10 feet long.
And if you're gonna put a gate on it or.
There's a
chains like
gate.
We said.
There is chain, first 20 feet.
Yeah, if you could just kind of detail that in some way, I mean, it doesn't have to be fancy, just so we know what we would potentially
No,
be
I'm-
agreeing to.
I'm not an artist,
That's good.
but a pencil thing like that I can do.
Hey,
All right.
Charlie,
Thank
real
you.
quick, Charlie, the other guy.
Just a question with the pier, because I know at the beach we have to have. So they may need to check with DNR to see if they are gonna put a pier there, they might need a
Right.
permit for it, because it's not a private pier, it's a group pier. or whatever.
I can talk to her. Right, she says she's gonna use you guys this year anyhow, Tom, so it'll be next year. It'll be next year.
No, but I'm just saying. That pier permit process is. not-
Right.
Right.
Then we have Austin and Nathan up.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
I'm Nathan Cuddell. I'm the warden out at the sheriff's department. What you have in front of you today is a packet with some different numbers, different quotes. About 3 or 4 months ago, possibly even 5, we started realizing that we have a significant issue at the sheriff's department that we need to address. We've had I'm gonna say an influx of mental health crisis that are being detained inside of the Justice Center. When the building was built in 2015 and then opened in 16, the idea was to have 2 padded cells inside of the Justice Center. For whatever reason, I wasn't a part of that process. I don't have the answer to it. The second cell was never converted fully into a padded cell, whether it was finances or whatever. That's not relevant today. So it's not necessarily that our numbers are going up or on our mental health crisis. What we're seeing is the stays that they're having with us are becoming tremendously longer. So what's happening is we're starting to overlap. So if we have an individual that's going through a mental health crisis, they have to go through our medical procedures, have to be checked every 10 minutes. If that's tied up, we have nowhere to put these other ones that come in. So I think currently we have 3 that qualify for that. We only have 1 padded cell. The individual, we kind of have to take it the most severe case at a time. And the individual that's there that's where he's going to be. So what we're requesting is, if possible, to take out of the seated, to make that a fully padded cell, to limit the liabilities for the sheriff's department as much as we can with these individuals.
Are you talking about the special jail seated or?
The
Jail seated.
whatever the jail seated is called. You'll see some quotes in here. Austin has been diligently trying to get individuals to give us different quotes. You'll see emails, attachments, things like that. There's not a lot of individuals out there that are in this business. I think he's contacted 4, 5, or 6, and we've only gotten 2 quotes back. The first one is, I believe, from Marathon. The second one is from Indie Wall Padding. There's a pretty significant difference on the first one, where it says payment discount. It does state that almost 9.25% of that cost come off if it's paid in full. Another quote that you'll see is for the window. So inside of these padded cells have secured windows. They're a little bit thicker and they have a wire mesh that goes through it. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make one cell identical to another. That way, if there's an incident, we don't have to describe why we made a decision to place this individual in that cell in this bit. We're trying to avoid as much of that as we
And
can.
then 3 cells to the right there, you're talking right across from the office, right?
Correct. So you have your booking
So
station.
aren't them the same windows now?
No, so one of them is, it's got the mesh, the wire mesh in it. The other one's just a clear
I
glass.
thought they all had.
So can either of you explain the difference? Is there any difference or are we just talking 2 different companies here?
Well, go ahead.
So basically, it's just 2 different companies. They just went into more detail of the contract.
Fairly apples to apples here.
From my understanding, yeah, they basically the same.
Okay, did you get any feedback from any of their existing customers to see if they were satisfied with either of these two providers?
We have, I believe we have worked with Marathon. Is that the one we have dealt with?
Yes, this is the company that has done our other pad and cell.
And you're happy with?
Correct.
Okay.
Did you have to call Marshall County or Alaska County?
No, all from my understanding, everybody's using this group right here. This group right here, I don't have any feedback at all. I don't believe that this line of work is their primary business. Is this the company that does a lot of like gymnasium gymnastic stuff?
We don't really do
No.
sales.
Okay. They do, they do. They do. It just, the way it was displayed was not the same as this. I felt much more comfortable with this than I did with this one. Not take the price off the table, even though it is higher. This one, I've dealt with them. I know they know what they're doing. This one, I did not get the same feel. The Indian wall penny.
Okay, so my understanding, the Marathon group here, they're asking for $28,970, potentially minus a 9.25% discount
Correct.
if we pay it in full at the time you sign the contract.
Correct.
That's something we've historically done before, is pay it in full.
I think it depends on the, like, we could save or whatever, I think we, it's a big amount, we'll go on our payments.
Yeah. Cause I would definitely want to make sure, you say you've used them before.
Correct.
Before we agreed to pay up front, that it's reputable and they're gonna do a good job. It sounds like they will.
From my understanding, that's been in place since the building has been in existence since 2016. If you flip back, you'll see some pictures of the differences between the 2 cells. We've had one issue with a damage. They came in and they fixed that damage pretty quickly and not a huge issue.
Have you talked to them, to see if we agreed on how long before they could start for it?
I have not been in communication. He would be able to answer that.
When they would be able to start.
Yeah.
They haven't.
Cause I don't wanna buy something that 6 months from now you call them, they ain't here. I mean, if it's something we need, I think it's something they should be working on shortly.
I wonder if they would be open to giving us the discount with just half down when they start, just so we have something, you know, when the job is done, we're satisfied with it, we pay the balance, you know.
I don't know why they want on that, do you? Would you?
You want personal or professional?
Both.
Personally, why would they?
Why would
That's why, if we said, now we can negotiate, sure, try.
Right.
It's not gonna hurt to try, but I don't know any logic they would have to say, oh yeah, we'll take half and still give you the same discount. They might say
It's a
instead,
county, it's not like me or you do. You know, I
we
mean.
absolutely, we could try. Absolutely, we could try.
Think we go, we should do what Mike asked.
I mean,
At least ask them, most of these, they know.
yeah, even if they went from 9 to 7, You know,
I can see that.
you know, at least we'd have something to say, hey, the job's still not done, you know, we'd like to get this wrapped up so we can get you paid and get this over with.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
And okay, so the 960, that's.
That is to transition the current window into the same window that's on the opposite side. We're trying to make both of those identical. For one, and if you really look where the price gets ugly is when you start looking at the shipping of things.
Right.
That's not even for the
Yeah.
product, that's just shipping. I think the window itself was $300 or $400 and then the shipping was $200.
I'd be okay going with the one Mike was saying, but Paul and asking if they would do that and when they could start and finish.
Right.
Cause we don't want to pay them half down and they start and then, like I say, you call me in 6 months. We don't want to do that. Same with everything else we've been buying. Everybody's got a good deal with it. They don't show up with it.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
think
my concern.
like last year with the trucks,
Yeah.
now that was before my
Yeah.
time, but
Still waiting.
we're still waiting on trucks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just would hate to be in a position, not to say that this company
Right,
would do
right.
that, but it'd still be nice to have some leverage
Yeah.
to get the job wrapped up.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, how do you want us to proceed?
Well, Charlie really hasn't weighed in on this. Any thoughts, Charlie?
Well, I agree with you guys. Well, I mean, that's the best way to attack it, I think, so.
And the sheriff's good with this.
Yes,
So we want him to see what they can do for maybe like a partial down
Yeah.
and,
I would even be okay with making a motion if they agree with that we move forward with it.
Pending.
I don't, you know, once you call me or Mike or whatever,
yeah, we can do that,
you
absolutely.
know, you got my number, whatever, get up with me as soon as. I think as soon as they agree to that, we do it tomorrow, my opinion.
what about funds? Are we okay on funds?
If we take it out, jail,
Yeah, JLC, yeah.
it's strictly for the jail.
So you want to I'll make a motion then to approve Marathon, pending a down payment and then a final payment upon construction, with potentially some negotiating on the discount.
Yes.
And we'll move forward pending your response to us.
Okay, and then what about the window, the 960?
I think we've about got to. I mean,
Okay.
otherwise, like you say, we're gonna be in a lawsuit because we put this guy in it.
One that's not the same grade as the other one.
I think.
So do we want to approve this one and then make a motion?
Yeah, let's
We
do,
can do that.
Okay.
so Mike made a motion, is there a second?
Second,
Yeah, second, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
I'll make a motion, we go with the window for the new door. For $960.
I'll second that.
Had a motion and a second, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
So you call me tomorrow.
Yep,
and say
absolutely.
They've approved it or whatever, or the next day, and we'll.
Now, real quick, council have to see this?
They can look at it, but
I mean, but did they have to give approval before he can move forward? Or since it's coming out of jail seated, we should be okay?
No, it still has to be appropriated.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta wait till the council meeting.
Yeah.
I'll still start the process,
Right.
Yeah.
and then I'll let you
Yeah,
know.
there you go.
Thank you, gentlemen, for
And
your
then come
time.
back to the council.
Okay,
And then once he's approved from the council.
Yes, then
he can
you
move
can move forward.
Yeah.
thank you, gentlemen.
Yep.
Well, I just caught it there at the end, but.
Then, Lynn Vesley. Hi.
I've got, my capital improvement plan for the next 3 years. This is something that I've always, since I've been a trustee, and this is my 3rd year, that I've been very, very passionate about. Especially because a lot of the cemeteries in my township have no records whatsoever. I have one township that people are buried with plots and not on any kind of paper. I've gone to the library. I've gone to and got online and seen what I could find online. And literally all 3 of my cemeteries are in really bad shape. The only thing I think that's been done to them in the last 30 years is probably mowing. So I would like to I would like to upgrade them and find out, because I did sell 2 plots, but I don't even know if there's somebody buried there. There's no way of me actually knowing. Even though I did all the research and made my own plot, there's still a question whether or not there's people buried there or not, because there's literally very little records.
Can you sell them? You know you got a lot.
Well, good question. That's why I've been I've been very vigilant on looking everything up and putting everything on paper. And hopefully the way I've done it, that there won't be anybody buried there, because I did sell 2 plots at Hearts Lake.
I wonder if there's any way you could like stick something like a rod down there or something.
There is, and before they start digging, they do a rod and they stick it to see if there's anybody buried there. Now, I had someone in North Bend Township Cemetery, and they wanted to be buried they wanted to build or put a tombstone, but after doing the research and the work, we had to move the tombstone to a different place because there was already people buried there. But we found out prior, so that was a good thing. So. But that's basically what I would like to do with my 3-year plan.
It's typically handled in the past.
This is probably the first time.
You're gonna say it's something.
Yeah, this plan ever since I became a trustee, so it was kind of easy for me. This is my 3rd year, yeah, so, it was easy for me just to put it on paper because this is what I would like to do. One of the things I like to do, so I do also have a schoolhouse that we're working on. So,
She's not asking for money.
no,
No,
I'm just asking for approval for this, but before
You're asking for approval to spend your money on this?
Yes,
thing?
yes. Because I'm sure all the trustees will have different ideas on what they wanna spend their money on. And first it goes to you, then it'll go to my board, which they already know my plan.
Okay.
And then it'll go to the South, I'm sorry. Then it'll go to I just went blank. It'll go to State Board of Accounts. And then it'll be put through, and then there'll be approval, so then I can open up a special account for this. And anything that is not used in my general fund will go into this plan.
But it will be a tax rate, an additional tax rate for North Bend Township.
I personally like to pay for. Check into this.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
even
sure, that's what I'm saying.
yeah, that's, I don't know.
Okay.
I
Nothing
don't,
against you.
Yeah.
I think it's a great plan.
Yeah.
I just don't know where we fall in this.
yeah, that's,
Yeah, I don't either. I just went to class and this is what they told me I had to do, so.
And that may
At
be
least for the next meeting,
right.
if you don't mind coming to our next meeting, it'll be in the morning,
Okay,
and I think we'll
I'll
try
make a
to,
motion to table.
I'll second.
all
In
right.
favor, right.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
your time.
Jim?
That's quick, short, and sweet, but I'm actually also representing Ricky Green too.
Yes.
We have an ambulance sitting in the county highway department. I've stripped it as best I can.
There you go. Thank you.
I would like to put it into the government deals auction site. And bring the money back into our repair fund, whatever's collected out of it. Also, Rick asked me to present, the sheriff's department has some things that they want to sell up there also. That's as far as we got. He just wants to have the permission to put it in to government.
I wanna know what they're selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just told him I'd bring it up.
And I get,
So
Fine,
I'm
but
fine with the ambulance.
yeah, and I am too, but I don't got to go to council for his money to come back, if you wanna come back into your.
into the maintenance fund, it's getting a little short.
Ideal, do that.
Isn't that what we did for the highway?
Yeah. But it was brought up to the meeting.
Okay, well, I think then we can make a motion for the ambulance to go ahead and go into and that'll be done on our end.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion that the ambulance can be sold on Gov Deals.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye.
And while we're doing this, I'd like to make motion to get rid of that old truck that Tony had. I talked to-
Don't do that yet.
I know, I just told Mike before the meeting, I talked to Rachel, so not till she's done stripping what she wants off of it. But then, I guess we can wait on that for the
Yeah,
next
until
meeting.
she gives us.
We'll just go with yours.
Yeah, cause we can sell just one thing.
Right.
Mhm.
That's the good thing.
It's actually worked out really well for the county so far.
And so we've approved, I don't know, I guess if we'll ask the council, if you can have back in your phone now.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't have a problem with it, and that way you can do your repair.
Yep, that work, air conditioning season took a big toll.
Thank you.
I
Thank
think.
you.
Thank you. We got the vendor claims up in the amount of $1,782,616.84.
Got a couple questions.
Okay,
We got page 5, Michaeline, there's $172 to Cassandra Hines.
She went to a state board of accounts
Oh.
called meeting.
Good enough.
She only turned in for her hotel, that was it.
And then on page 7, the 20,000, I believe, was for that pickup.
Yes,
Okay, you got 20,000 and you got 5,000, is that out of,
the commissary.
but the whole payment of the truck was on 20,000.
No, it was 20,000 from us and 5,000 from commissary.
No. it should've
Supposed to
been
be-
50.
I don't know what it was. The 20,000 had to be paid out of that and she's reimbursing us the 5,000 out of commissary.
Okay, so that's what that one is.
Right,
Okay.
yes, I'm sorry. I forgot that she said it had, rather than give them 2 separate checks, she asked if they could do it that way.
When I see here, we got a bill for 42,700 for the ditches for the drone.
Yeah,
I've never seen that before.
oh,
I mean, does that happen every year or?
yes, we do it every year, not the drone part, but this year was the first year using the drone, they did about 60 miles of ditches. It was all approved through the drainage board, and it
Okay.
comes out of the ditch assessment money,
Okay.
yeah,
that was just spraying, right? Is that?
correct,
Yeah,
yes.
Oh, it was spraying the ditch?
yeah, yeah.
I had one on the Clevenger, the attorney.
Okay.
I mean, I know
But the one for,
I know what it was for, but it sure seemed like a lot for, so I just wondered if there was more to that.
sure, I've seen that in there. That one.
It seemed pretty sizable for the work that was done.
But that one's not incomplete, but,
Yeah, we're not done with it.
right? You remember which page that's on?
I mean, I don't have a copy of it.
No.
Page 3,
3.
yeah.
Do you know any idea on his legal fees that he sent in, Michael?
I don't even know what he did.
Well, I'm not sure we can,
Yeah,
because it was
Yeah.
part of an executive meeting,
Oh,
but we can talk about the amount and how we ended up there, because that seems like a lot for the amount of time that was spent. I don't know what all that included. I don't know if we want to check into that.
thank you. It won't hurt.
You wanna-
For us to see.
you want to
what we're-
approve those claims without that?
I would.
And I think Rachel can probably help us with maybe another one here. That one we already approved. But there was.
Almost like the tractors, glad to see that.
I think there are two, but I thought there was one that was. Yeah. So 547, 5. Oh, we Riley. Rachel,
Hmm.
could you come up and take a look at a claim? I'm sure you can shed some light on it.
Very comfortable back here.
I just want to make sure you're happy with this.
So it's the grant fund.
Yeah, there should be our portion coming out of, 1172.
But its project's all done and you're satisfied and.
Yes.
I didn't get a warm fuzzy feeling. Well, if there's anything you're not satisfied with, I'm not gonna approve that claim until it's resolved.
It's nothing that, it's fine. It's good.
There's nothing that needs redone or nothing.
It's just, it's nothing that can be redone. I mean, I think they did the berms a little too high. I think they did drop offs. Going on to some other roads a little too high, but that's not really something that,
Without the payment, they'll get it done.
you can't rip it up and redo it. And
Can they fix the approaches onto the other roads or?
not really. I mean, they're gonna say it's for like all the patching that they had to do to the roadway. They'll make it smooth. So some areas are just higher than others, and we didn't put berming in the project. So it's not something that was in the contract for them to fix the berming as they're going along. That's something that we do and we have been working on.
Right.
I mean, it's when you compare different contractors, each contractor does much different work.
Right.
Well, I
We need
guess
to remember that. Yeah.
what,
They're just so much cheaper all the time.
I guess what I wanna know is. Are you satisfied for them to walk away from this project?
For that amount of money, yes.
Okay. Is that good enough for you guys?
It is for me.
Good for me. So we're gonna take off that one, make that,
Clevenger one.
yeah, I'm not sure that.
Just ask and give us a write-up on it.
She may have it. I didn't ask ahead of
That could be
time.
too.
She probably has it in her claims.
But I just wanna compare it to whatever we agreed.
Yeah.
We were supposed to pay, you know, hourly or whatever.
So I'll have her put it in the next batch of claims
Okay.
after, give you guys a chance to look at it.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause I always get mine early anyhow.
I'm sorry.
I always go get mine early anyhow, yeah, so that'd be good.
So the amount that take off is $2,786.40. That sound good?
Yeah.
I'll make that one.
Motion. Second,
Second.
all's in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Payroll claims in the amount of $316,403.32. Motion,
The motion to approve the payroll claims.
Second.
motion and second, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Or motion to approve the commissioners' meeting minutes from 6/16/25.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
On the back of your agendas, I attached an email from Gwen regarding an appointment.
actually had that in my list of things to bring up, but. You guys wanna tackle that issue now? Glenn, you wanna come up?
All right, good evening, gentlemen. So I didn't know if you guys would have copies of them or not, but there's that. Also, the board appointment list, which I was given from the auditor's office. And this is your second, Michaeline, what I'm presenting to them. So, it's not Michaeline's fault or anything like that, but I wanted to share with you that, in January, I had asked for a list from the auditor's office requesting the, board appointments that would be coming up for the year. And the, River Basin Commission Board is not on this, appointment list, so I didn't think anything about it. In January, there was a meeting and it was presented, there was a letter of interest presented by someone to be appointed to that board, and that was the January 6th meeting. Their appointment didn't end until June 30th. So I would like for you to reconsider the appointment that you made that was not up until June 30th and consider this my letter of interest for that position. It's typically, here's a copy of their bylaws for the River Commission. The first time that you're appointed to it, it's a 2-year term, and then when you're reappointed again, it's 4 years. And then it's after the first meeting after July 1st of every year is when they'll select the voting members, like the chair and president and that type of thing. So I don't believe that we've missed any kind of deadline to possibly make some changes to this. That'd be something too I need to talk to Scott about from the River Basin, but I'm just presenting this to you because I feel like as the surveyor, the elected surveyor now, that I need to be on that board to stay in contact with what's going on with the Kankakee River, the Yellow River, the projects, the funding, the county assessment. I believe it was just $200,000 that we sent to the KRBC. You know, I'd like to have a say in where some of that money spent and ask questions and that type of thing. So that's what I'm
Do you
presenting. to
mind
you.
who the board appointment is you're talking about?
No, that's fine. It was all public record. It's Bill Crace was actually the board appointment, being that he was the previous surveyor.
Right.
So, and that's why I was asking, since I'm currently the elected surveyor, that's why I'm bringing it to your attention.
Well, I guess my thought is I've never been in favor of kicking anybody off a board.
Right.
But maybe since she's the surveyor, we could just talk to Bill and say, hey, she feels like as the surveyor, she'd really like that seat. Maybe he'd be okay with.
All right.
So
I think we should at least give Bill the opportunity
Okay.
to talk to him.
Yeah, I understand.
I get what you're saying, but there again, then the public don't know there's a spot on there.
Right.
So is it really, surveyor's spot or for anybody in the public?
So
That I don't know.
the technical advisory committee is typically like a farmer or someone else that has drainage. So Dan Gums is on the technical board. And then again, it's not in the bylaws. However, it is typically the county surveyor. It has to be the elected county surveyor. They won't take appointed surveyors to the board, is what I found. But yes, it's typically a county surveyor. So I'm just asking, I guess, for some reconsideration with that, and maybe we can discuss it at the next meeting or sometime soon before the time limit's really up. So,
I'd like to talk to Bill and say something like that.
yeah, that's fine. I appreciate
He
that.
may be completely understanding.
Right.
This would make sense for her.
Yeah, because I feel like obviously Bill and I can work together.
Sure.
With things, but it would certainly be a benefit, I believe, for the county, for me to sit on the board, being in the surveyor's office and know firsthand what's going on, instead of kind of hearsay of what, so, yeah.
If he's off the board, so it won't be a spot.
I don't know if he'll be then put on a technical, they're expanding the seats for the technical advisory committee. They're changing some bylaws with the tech committee. So there's a chance that he could still be, yeah, have a seat on the board, just not,
I agree. Mike will talk to Bill.
yeah, that's fine.
Put it on our next agenda.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. And then just real quick, I did misspeak a moment ago when you had asked about the drone. That was something that the previous surveyor, he did check into that, kind of get the ball rolling, and then I just kind of followed through with it.
Okay.
So.
I don't
Yeah.
remember seeing that much money on it.
No, I understand. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
We're gonna pack all of them appointments.
I would like to, on solid waste at least. That was, Lauder, Christy Lauder, is that who it was, Michael?
Mhm.
I'd like to appoint her.
She's from the town, like on the council of the town council up there. Cause I think that's what it's gotta be, I believe. Has to be like,
She's something from Hamlin, but I
okay,
don't know.
I don't know her, so. Yeah.
I guess make a motion, I'll make a motion, she's on there as long as she goes by
Something with the
or
town,
that she fits the need.
yeah,
But I think you're right, something with Hamlin.
yeah, it was either Hamlet or Judson, I
I think
believe,
it's-
and not.
Cause she lives in Hamlin,
Yeah,
right outside of Hamlin. So, as long as she fits them things.
Criteria.
right.
I'll second that.
Motion a second, all those in favor, aye?
I. Waste appointment. You guys wanna do any other appointments or?
You guys.
Whatever you want to think.
I got a
Have
whole
you
list
ever
of
had a
stuff.
chance to call
Well,
them?
go through your stuff, whatever you got.
Well, I just don't wanna skip over that, but I got several things here if you guys are ready to jump into it.
Yeah.
I guess we'll start with Rachel.
Does that mean I gotta come?
You might as well, we've got comfy chairs up
All
here.
Does anybody wanna come up with me?
So there's three issues I've got kind of jotted down here. I'll let you kind of step us through where we're at with it. First one is, the John Deere tractor.
John Deere tractor that is sitting in John Deere with a blown transmission, that one?
Yep.
So, I don't really know all the technical terms, but the trainees out of our John Deere tractor, that's a 2013. So we only have the two Kubotas now, two New Hollands that we're piecing together, and then one good John Deere tractor. To fix it, it'd be around $25,000, and that's just an estimate. And, went out there to visit them, and they're going to look, I still have not received anything from them, but they're gonna look to see if they have, possibly a used model that they can switch over and, also. What's they gonna do?
They're gonna look at new and used.
New and used, okay, yeah.
That one's got the brush chopper on
No, this is just one of the mowers.
So the tractor, Rachel and I went out there, it's got 6,300 hours on it. I did ask the service tech, I said, what's the life expectancy of one of these before they're starting to cost more to keep running than? And he said approximately 7,000 hours. So we've got a $25,000 expense here. The mower itself, I mean, I looked it over, Rachel looked it over, the tech, we all agree that the mower on the tractor is actually in really good shape.
How many hours did you say was the life expectancy?
Approximately 7,000. I mean, that's not a hard number set in stone. He just said that. Once they get to that point, they're starting to get expensive to keep. That's kind of where we're at with it. I think it's still sitting there.
Yep.
But there's nothing more. They've got it reassembled so she can move it back to the highway if you guys agree with
it.
it.
They charge them, whatever they've done.
No, it's almost $4,000 for taking apart and diagnosing it.
That's what I'm saying. So either way, we're going to charge for it.
Oh, yeah, we already own the bill. They already put it back together. We didn't take it or not.
The tractor does move. I didn't, the battery was dead when I was there. I tried to start it, but it wouldn't go. The tractor, he says will drive, but you can tell that it's dragging a little bit. And he really didn't think that it was necessarily an operator error or there was some sort of an accident. Just, it's got 6,300 hours on it, stopping and going constantly along the side of the road.
Don't think it's heavy use, that's for sure. So $25,000 to fix it or see what they come up with as far as used tractors, since the mower part's good.
Got any used ones, or that's what they're
Well, that's what
charging
they're, I need to email them because I'm surprised I haven't. It's been a couple of weeks since we were out there. But I mean, the Kubotas are $56,000 total. I mean, that's half of a new machine, $25,000 to fix it.
Well,
Kubotas we had a little rough start, the first 2 weeks that we got them, but now It's been pretty smooth. We've been out and no problems whatsoever for at least 2 weeks.
Well, I don't recall these other tractor companies, see, Marshall County, if John Deere don't wanna get back with, we shouldn't have to call them, we should have already been calling
You mean other John Deere's around?
anyone.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
don't get tractors.
Well, that mower is probably specific to that model of tractor.
Mm.
But that tractor was not specifically built for utility work. It is also a farm tractor. So if we found one that maybe was farm use and only has 1,000 hours on it, we might get 5,000 more hours of, you know, what you might call commercial use. So I guess today I'd like to make a decision. Can she pick the tractor up, which I'm good with.
I think so.
Yeah, I'd say so. That ain't worth, I mean,
The next they'll be charging the store
yeah.
I hope not.
and. But I mean, that's what I say, you or Kim, or whoever, can call around these other tractors, John Deere did. I know they're all connected, but
Yeah.
Case will sell a John Deere if they got one sitting in the lot.
And really, Rachel and I talked about it. Even if she made a decision to order a Kubota today, it doesn't help us this year.
Exactly.
So there's no rush if we decide to order a match to the other two that we got, because we wouldn't get it till spring. At this point, it wouldn't do us any good just to sit out there all winter. But if they do come up with something, you know, that's low hours, so that we could put our mower on and get some more time out of it, that might be useful. But if that's not an option, I'd say we just sell the tractor as is, because to somebody that has a shop,
Yeah.
they can
Can
pull
do
this
the
in
work
and do the work
themselves, yeah.
themselves. You know, it might not be so bad. So we need to make a motion to move the tractor out.
I'll say,
Okay.
Motion and second, all those in favor? Aye.
There's also a culvert issue, just west of here. I think you're kind of aware of it. But Rachel and I kind of talked about maybe doing some work to the road and extending a culvert.
Yeah.
On both sides of the road, so she can make more of a berm there. She's a little bit nervous about, you know, that's gonna cost a few dollars.
right,
I don't really see any way that we can't do it. It needs to get done.
right.
If she does it all in-house, we're gonna have a cost of culvert, some time, gravel. I'll let her continue on from there.
That should be doable. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
we
it's
do.
not like the other one was talking about, by Bass Lake.
No, we have the equipment that, we can handle this culvert. We're just making it longer and leveling out more of the
Right,
sides to make it a little wider in that area. But we also wanna look at, unfortunately, 50 South is a newly hot mix road. I hate cutting into the
I know.
road.
but it needs,
But
even when
it needs done, and we might, actually a little east of that culvert, fix there's a little tiny dip on the side of the road on 50 South too, on the north side.
Yeah.
That is, we can fix that too. I
okay.
mean, if you watch the traffic, you can see some of the steer tires catch it. And, we'll fix that as well. And we also learned that the, lines on 50 South I'm gonna be restriping it as well.
Okay. I'd heard that.
I'm getting a price from High Star Traffic for that.
What do you want on a motion or something?
Well, Charlie, you had a hand up out there.
Oh, sorry, who
Oh,
had that?
what ditch is it?
Where's,
On what ditch?
Oh, I don't know what ditch. It's on 50 South and it's gonna be, east of 100 East.
Gwen, this is the one you and I talked about. I think it's a private ditch.
Oh, okay, yes. it is.
You said east of 100?
Yeah, east of it's between 100 East and 200 East.
Oh.
On 50 South.
Is there any way you could get us a budgetary amount as to what you think it would cost you to work on?
Well, I already have the culvert. I mean, I have a supply of culverts out there,
Mhm.
so, I mean, it's not really,
You gotta replace your culvert.
but it can be considered on the list of culverts that we're gonna replace this year too. I'll be able to work it in this year and in the budget without asking for additional money.
But we can't do it till 300 open,
Correct.
which that should be a couple weeks.
Yeah. NDOT, I got an email about that today. NDOT couldn't do the final inspection till July 27th. So, Superior Construction has until that time to fix what they need to fix out there. And then hopefully it'll be open within a week after July 27th.
And I was just sitting there the other day.
This is on 300 East?
Yeah, 300 is the Bridge
It
137.
was, I said,
So do we want to give her a motion just so she's in the clear to replace this culvert with a longer one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to replace the culvert on 50
50 south,
50
between
south
100 east and 200 east.
with extension,
with extensions.
second.
Motion and second, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye. Okay, last thing for Rachel, Total Road. So this has been going on for 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. So the first hot day we had of the year, the road started to liquefy.
Lead
Better
is the
term.
correct lead.
You're talking about Toto Road, did you say?
Total
Yeah.
Road, yeah,
It's gonna be Total Road between State Road 23 and 1150 east.
yeah. Rachel has come out 3 times and put sand on it. There was the salesman for the company that did the project has come out and he claims it's perfectly normal. There has been several other people that have come out that says this is the wildest thing that I've ever seen. Essentially, it's to the point now where you can hear your tires sticking to the road as you're driving along. Rachel's witnessed this firsthand now.
Mhm.
And on a hot afternoon between maybe 3 and 5, it's the rocks are just peeling up as you drive. She's got some ideas on what we could do as a county to fix it. But my understanding is the county paid $300,000.
Didn't we pay to have that done?
Yeah, it was a CCMG project. It was a chip seal CCMG project, which I don't like using CCMG for chip seal because we can do our own chip seal. Anyways, they did 1150 east between State Road 10 and Total, no, 250 south, and then Total Road between State Road 23 and 1150 east. And it was about $298,000. Some bleeding from chip seal is completely normal. I mean, if you look at 300 east north of State Road 8 out here, you'll see where it does bleed in spots, but not like it is now on Total Road. This is the entire roadway, the entire stretch.
I think since they did it, we've had nothing but complaints for that section.
Mhm. Yeah, the other
When they
section is
put it-
fine.
Yeah,
So you guys are gonna have to decide, do we bring in the company and talk to them about it? Do we try to get them to redo it? Or if you want me to redo it, even one spray of oil and one layer of rock would be between $40,000 and $60,000 of our
They
money.
pay you. I would rather they come in, so you got enough getting going on anyway.
I mean, you could lay 11 down again as it is now, but it's not gonna stick as much as putting another layer of oil down
In
and.
my opinion, they did it, they come in and fix it. But,
Well, just
I mean, as long as we still okay in time, how much time are you allowed?
For what?
For like from when they did the job and now we're just now saying.
Well, I mean, it's not completely our fault because we're just now seeing the bleeding, it wasn't bleeding before.
I think for her to call them and see if they'll, what they say they'll do and not ask them to come with me. I don't
Yeah,
think we
it's-
should be responsible for it.
I
Not
don't,
when we pay it.
I don't agree with us being responsible. The taxpayers, and I mean, this is all taxpayer money when you look at the big picture, and we paid a lot to have that work done. And to me, it's completely unacceptable.
It just kinda, stinks in the meantime because during this whole process, that road is very hard to travel and I guess we could just keep putting sand down, but I don't wanna fix it and then.
Right.
If you're gonna try to get them to fix
All
it.
your people out there where you should be out blacktop somewhere.
Yeah, the sand helps for 4 or 5 days, it helps dry it up and then cars are flinging it all over themselves and off the road. It actually, and maybe Roberta can attest to this, but if you drive from 23 now to State Road 17 in Marshall County, the tracks go all the way to 17 because they're tracking this stuff that whole distance. It's wild actually to see what's going on.
You couldn't put like a coarse lime on that,
We
like.
can like 14 fresh limestone, but that, again, that's gonna be our money to fix
Right,
it,
that's-
but yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
said, let them.
Yeah,
can't try
yeah,
that.
right, right.
I could even try, instead of taking the stone box out there, just tailgating the coarse limestone, you know, out of the sander. Kind of like spreading it like we do with sand right now, and see if that sticks better than the sand.
My concern when she mentioned that as an idea was, are we gonna create another problem?
Right,
You know,
right.
I would prefer them to try to
Right.
fix it,
yes.
And let them
yeah.
create the problem.
Right, yeah.
Again,
because then are we gonna get calls for broken windshields because it wasn't really stuck
Mhm.
down the way it was supposed to be? But, you know, I just feel like the taxpayers paid a lot of money for this.
Mhm.
Alright.
Yeah, I think we should get on them and, I mean, twist their arm to get them to fix it, so.
At least come to us with a
Right.
solution.
Get here.
That they're gonna pay for.
yeah. Cause we already paid them for it.
Charlie, I think you had a hand up.
Yeah, I was told not to say it.
Okay. I guess I don't know where we go from here. Give them 2 weeks till our next meeting. Either come to us or offer a solution.
Mhm. Yeah,
And if they don't, then, you know, we may have to take legal
Yeah,
action.
call. Even if Rachel gets you an answer, and you can call them, you can give us a response or whatever. That way we at least know what they're gonna do, if they're gonna work on it or.
What's the sand cost us to put down?
It's
Just
575
labor
a
with
ton. So. $50 a load.
And how many loads is it?
Oh, just one, not even a full load. It's more, you're paying more manpower money to do it than the
Just
material.
Somewhere.
yeah.
What I was gonna say, and he's gonna tell me not to say it, is until we get them out to figure it out, what if we close the road through traffic so that the sand that we do put down lasts a little
Yeah.
bit longer?
It's really the rain that kind of washes.
Mm.
off the
Yeah,
road.
that's true.
Yeah. So give them 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Till our next meeting.
Yeah.
Is
Are
there
you
any way-
making that a motion, Mike?
Well, is there any way you can reach out to them and
Yeah.
tell them the commissioners have asked for a solution? Within the next, I mean, they don't have to take action in the next 2 weeks, but I'd
Right.
like to know.
Yeah,
what
what
we
the
can
plans
do.
are.
So that'll be the motion.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor,
I,
Glenn?
I have a question while Rachel's still up there. For Mike or Rachel, is there any update on the, bug pile containment setup? I drove by over the weekend and of course, you know, I was checking it out and it's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess, cause we have to put sand on top of
Right.
there, and then we have to dig the sand up and. Dispose of the sand, so right now where we're at is soaking up the emulsion, not oil.
Right.
With the sand and disposing of that, and then I'll be laying new material on top of it. And we're building a berm around the bug pile for now, which will contain it, the future rain. But I'm actually gonna build a retention pond, so it actually doesn't leak out anymore again.
And EMA is involved in all this,
Yes.
knows all about it.
Yeah,
they've
so,
got sketches.
yeah, it definitely, yeah, it looks pretty healthy right now, but be able to clean it up properly. Yeah, I put sand on top of it, soak it up. And
Are you we're talking about a road
Rachel,
or the
No,
highway?
highway.
Oh,
containing that runoff inside a berm and the bug sitting, does that damage the bug? It's, no.
No, and it doesn't, bugs a hard surface, so it doesn't go down either. It just kind of sits there until it evaporates, and you gotta stir up the liquid a little bit so it will evaporate. Cause there gets a little film on top of it from the emulsion from the
I
material.
was just thinking, sun down the bottom of the pump pile and it's all
Oh, yeah.
garbage. It's moisture.
yeah.
No, it, we had a berm around it last year and it worked out really well. It just, when we had the pug made this year, the berm didn't work out because the loaders were going back and forth from many different piles. Cause, the sand and the stone was separately put into separate hoppers this year. Last year, it was all one hopper, which actually separate hoppers are better, makes up better material. So there just wasn't there's just a lot of traction through the yard. And a lot of rain, like they would make it and it rained that night, and the rain has been unbelievable, it hasn't been our favor this year.
Rachel, you got anything else for us?
No, I wanna be done.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Something else that's been brought up is the recorder wall. I think you were off that meeting. Donnie and I went up and discussed, and on that particular time, everybody was kind of on board with the decision. The situation up there has changed. They don't feel as strongly that the wall is necessary. I know it's kind of already in motion to complete it the way that it is, and I personally think we should complete it, and if it's decided later that we should make a change, fine, but I think we should see it through on how the decision was made.
Yeah. Yeah, just finish it and be done.
And like I
We
said,
can
we can
always
always
redo
change.
it, like you said, just like we put it up. Agree.
Okay. Okay, now a couple quick things from the plan commission. It's been brought up, we've had basically 4 employees out there. One's been part-time, we've had 3 full-time employees. The last plan commission meeting, it was discussed to consolidate that into 3 full-time employees and eliminate the part-time position. It would be kind of restructured as, it would be the inspector, basically like an administrator in the office, and then a secretary or an assistant would be the 3rd position. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, so like Robbie's position, we just gonna do away with it.
No, that would become part of the secretary position. So everything would kind of, the roles would just get divided up among 3 positions. Which
I
kind of
just don't
goes,
wanna lose the position. I get it, I mean, I like the idea, I've even talked to a couple people, but. Yeah, I just wanna make sure we still got a coping.
yeah,
So instead of being part-time, she would be full-time, or whoever you put in there.
correct.
Yeah.
So an inspector, a secretary, and what?
So an inspector, an administrator, and then a secretary or an assistant position. That would also be trained to fill in if the administrator of the office was out.
I think it's a good idea.
Which would potentially free up a little bit of money in the budget. How would you guys feel if, I know this would probably have to go to council too, if some of that money was allocated to the positions? So I think we're kind of the lowest paid in that department amongst the counties around us.
I would be okay with it, but it just aggravates me if we didn't offer that to her. Or we had it 16, before,
Right.
but I get it, yeah.
But that only came up because of the restructuring to 3 employees.
Right.
So-
And that's what I say, I get it.
Yeah, that makes sense to do that. If it does go to 3.
I mean, obviously, this would have to be voted on.
Right.
For the
since
whole
you got-
board,
Because
right.
you do it for one office, you're gonna have to do it for the rest. I'm.
Okay. What do you think, Charlie?
I think it's fine.
You got anything you want to add, Roberta?
No, I just wanted to make sure that the code enforcement, so, and you're forgetting BZA, because technically. One of those roles is full-time under the BZA. And that's the BZA secretary, code enforcement dual, that filling in for planning. You keep saying planning, and I just want to be careful because. That hits the BZA budget, not the planning commission budget.
So,
So we'd
like
be,
2 for the planning, 1 for BJ, or,
correct, it,
I mean, we gotta work,
Yeah,
right, how do we
yeah.
do
that's how we did it.
I get it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it was clear that that included the BZA.
it? I think so, otherwise in a couple months, gonna come say we need BJ.
Right, yeah, we
Well,
don't need to do that. Yeah, the
yeah.
BZA is part-time, 2 days a week is really, and then. If we went with the person that we're thinking, the
Right.
rest of that job is 3 days a week. And then can fill in when needed for
And
other
the
things.
planning commission can still work out the details of this, but I didn't want us to go down a rabbit hole that all 3 of us didn't agree on this side.
Right. No, that sounds like a solid plan, go that way. Tom,
So the. Least, I guess qualified position is assistant, you were saying, maybe make that a deputy administrator if that person is supposed to. You know, go up and take that position if that person's absent.
We're looking at titles and names. And all
Yeah.
that stuff.
No, yeah, I'm just
We
saying.
just didn't want to
that
put a lot
just
of
makes it
work
easier
in
for
that
me.
until we had the approval of the commissioners to.
Yeah, I'm just saying if that person's gonna be, take over that. role,
Train each other,
careless.
so you know, same job,
Which would be great,
yeah,
yeah,
or at least two.
yeah.
right.
And I will mention too on the plan commission, I know he's kind of stepping in here, but Gina's been doing an awesome
Yeah,
job.
I talked to him this morning.
Yeah, and just no complaints from anybody out in the public as far as him coming out and being polite and working with folks. I've even had tremendous positive feedback from everybody here in the office on just how great he is and friendly. He comes around and checks in on offices and just says hi to people and.
When I told him all that this morning, he said, I still don't want a full-time job.
Same thing. Right. We asked if the temporary job could be like 10 years.
Right.
He wasn't going for it.
And one more issue is, the gal that's, working up in the plan commission right now, we've talked about it a little bit. And she has, consistently gone over 35 hours and, I personally have talked to her and I think she's talked to some folks in HR. I don't, technically, the administrator positions here are 35 hours. And we kind of cap it at that. And we also require a lunch throughout the administrator building. And I know she maybe is trying to help out and cover since there's only one person up there. But I think we still need to kind of wrangle that in just so everybody's
On the same.
on the same. And I just want to get your guys' opinion on it because I don't want to make this decision on how we handle it.
Thought last time we talked, we had it figured out, no?
It doesn't seem like it's been figured out.
No, she turned in another payroll today for the 80 hours again.
And we can't move it the other way, like,
But consistently, it has been, if there's only one person in the office, that you could close the office for an hour for your lunch, but
there ain't no, yeah, she's the only person.
yeah, so she technically is allowed to do that according to the handbook, so
Is allowed to close the office,
for an hour for lunch.
which would take her back to the 35
Wow.
hours, but still have the office open.
If she don't want lunch, let her shut the office early, just put a note, let the public know.
Well, the problem with allowing her to skip a lunch is we're gonna start a trend in the whole building. And I'm not sure that's a road we wanna go down.
Nope, not at all.
I mean, I appreciate her helping out here, but I just wanna make sure everybody is treated equally.
So that 80 hours, was that working hours inside or was that meetings also?
Just working, I don't think she's gone to any meetings, has she, Roberta?
She did one BZA, but we're paying her from the
Oh,
BZA,
okay.
so that's not included.
So that's not
She did-
included in that?
Yeah, we just did the meeting pay.
Right.
Just real quick too, from an HR perspective, she can't just skip a lunch legally.
Yeah.
She has to take an
Yeah.
hour lunch.
I've talked to Susan.
Yeah, so that's not a solution.
And another thing, she was hired as part-time, so legally she can only get like 130 hours a month.
Well, I think we've given approval
I
to
agree with
really
that, yeah.
Oh,
let her work
We
full time.
discussed that.
Yeah. So what are your guys' thoughts on this?
As much as she's done for us, I hate to ask her any different, whatever, I mean, we gotta do it that way, we gotta do it.
Oh, Charlie.
Seems how she works next to us, and it's very common that people know that we discuss. Robbie has done a phenomenal job in what she has done, in my opinion. With that being said, as the code enforcement officer, when Mary was here, she was able to leave at 3 o'clock. It is very easy for people to say you can take a lunch and do this, and when you live 5 minutes away and you can go home. and close the office. She lives over towards Walkerton. We live. Mandy lives in St. Pierre, I live in Judson. Is there any way that you could give her some comp time, even though since you're allowing her to work full-time, give her some comp time for those hours in case she needs to take a day off for a sickness, something that you guys may not know, but she had an appointment that she canceled that she had for months to keep that office open because there's nobody there.
I appreciate everything you've said, Jen, and I agree 100%. But comp time we can't do. There's that, we went through that. I mean, we've been fighting that for 10 years.
Yeah, State Board of Accounts says comp time has to
I
be
get what
taken
you're
within.
saying. That's why I'm asking Mike and Charlie to try to figure something out for this woman. This woman's working way more than she should be.
Like Joshua said, she is used to leaving at 3. She used to leave the office.
And that's what I mentioned a minute ago. It don't sound like,
I mean, what's the
change the
difference,
office hours.
what's the difference if you
Right.
close your lunch, if you close at 3 o'clock for a lunch? Or if you close at noon to 1 for a lunch?
Right.
There's really no difference there.
Was
But
closed.
she was told that she was not allowed to do that, so that is why she's sitting there the whole time, because she was told she could not leave at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, just do temporary planning commission hours. Close the office at 3 o'clock.
Who told her she couldn't leave at 3 o'clock?
You would need to talk to Robbie about that.
Maybe something we need to sit down with her and Suzanne. And discuss that, but we still gotta figure out the 35 and
Right.
40 hour situation. Because if the administrating jobs in here are 35 hours.
but that's why I say, I mean, the whole county knows we're going through this. We need to work it out right away. So, you know what I mean? We can't say, hey, Robbie, work 90 hours, we're only gonna pay you 75, you know, we can't. She's doing over and above for us.
Well, I don't think anybody's asking that.
I know, but that's what I'm just saying, but it sounds like, you know, the county can't do this kind of, I think we can do if we decide. You know, we're just gonna have to figure something out. Like Gwen said, or Jen said, shut the office down there.
Mhm.
Do some temporary, I mean, everybody knows we're working, you know, how we're working.
I think that'd be a good route to go.
I just think, I mean, we gotta do something.
You guys have the authority to set the hours for that office. So you could set the hours from 8 to 3.
And we'd be fine,
Yeah.
Well, except then we're setting a precedence of no loss.
Maybe,
but it's, I mean, people got, that's what I'm saying, people for this county know what we're gonna do, they gotta understand. Up to me, it's just, and I get it.
I mean, you know,
there's no-
maybe another suggestion, if you're worried about people coming at 4 o'clock, closer to being off work, maybe you could ask Robbie, maybe you open it 9 to 4. I mean, give her, I just, working beside her, I just know communication is a very key thing. She feels that on some aspects that it's not being communicated to her directly, and she is the one sitting there doing that and not being communicated to.
Glenn,
Okay, so I have something to say. So, first of all, I don't want this to come out, but, and I'm not knocking you or anything. Robbie's not here to talk about this, but communication works both ways. Okay, I've been here 18 years, and when the previous surveyor, not Thomas, but the other, left for health reasons, I just stepped up, got a hold of Charlie and said, what are we gonna do here? And we did it. And I'm not saying she didn't do that, but I did not observe that happening on the planning commission board and things. So, and another thing I wanna talk about is, I've been here a long time. Our hours in the county are 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. And I understand Robbie lives farther away than some of us do, but that's not the county's problem. Sit in the park and read a book or do whatever. We can't just change hours because somebody lives farther away than somebody else does. I'm not trying to be mean,
I have
but
to work, double work.
no, she could still take lunch and close the office. I would never want to.
I talk to Robbie daily, just so you know.
But
That-
with her code
That's all
enforcement,
it started. I talked to her
Code
today.
enforcement, she's
But
gotta be able to.
She don't speak out and talk.
But
Yes.
with her code enforcement, when she was here, her hours were at 8 to 3.
Right, I know.
And that was approved by that.
That's what I'm saying, if it's something.
She has taken
I
on
can't even.
the administration and the BZA, and she has,
You know what I'm saying? They
So-
gotta know, they gotta.
with that, she has done some things.
Temporary?
Yeah, she does something.
You can do like, put a sign.
She was
Something
told she
else.
cannot be at Rita. So that is why she said it.
That's what I'm.
So that they get in that
If
position.
those are her normal hours. So what's to say,
That's just like that.
what's to say,
Email.
maybe somebody from the. needs to come in and-
Garbage. Or the child, I mean, you talk. That law in by, so someone, we know, outside didn't like it, they went over, like it was a child. But that's different, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying?
different, yeah.
I don't know, I think we gotta figure it out, either
Yeah.
tell Robert she don't have to work that many, or. Maybe. What's your assistant, well, maybe she can go in there while Robert goes to lunch,
Sarah?
Sarah,
Oh, like block lunch hours or whatever.
whatever.
Wait, yeah. Whatever you guys,
She don't wanna leave for lunch time.
Robbie doesn't wanna leave for lunch.
She doesn't leave for lunch.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, whatever you
The
need.
office open.
Well, the office would be open if Sarah was down there. The only thing Sarah would just be able to, you know,
That's
basically what
fine.
Robbie's doing. You know,
Just for now, we know it's a problem, we gotta take care of right now, let's put a sign up, this is what we're doing.
right?
I guess my thought is, so we don't change the whole precedent of the annex buildings. Is the hours are 8 to 4, and there needs to be an hour lunch somewhere in there. And we need to close the office, because I think there are some legal reasons you can't work over 8 hours and not have a lunch.
We ever worked 7:45.
And I'm not sure where that line.
You know what I'm
you
saying,
know,
yeah.
I know Suzanne's not here today, but I mean, what is the standard for the annex building? I mean, does everybody pretty much take a lunch?
Yeah, as far as I know. Everybody does. I do.
I think the only people.
You need a rest, you know, you need to.
They don't work enough.
Call
I
it a
think
break
they
for a
need
while.
15-minute breaks.
We stay in for lunch. We do not go out for lunch. We only clock 35 hours a week though. And then if Jennifer takes her 15-minute lunch or whatever, if she has to go to a doctor's appointment, we're allowed within that one pay period to I allow her to take and go to a doctor's appointment or however minutes she's built up for that pay period. But I'm also an elected official supervising and over Jennifer and my part-time. Right now, she has nobody. You know, she doesn't.
Helping us out.
She doesn't have a supervisor, she doesn't have anything. She is just what started as a part-time employee, now holding down 3 positions.
Well, I think she does have Jean helping her quite a bit with things.
Correct, but Jean was brought in for inspection. Jean is not supervising the in-office part of it as she would have an administrator. Jean is not doing Mary's job. That Mary was, because Mary was supervisor kind of over that department. I don't know if that's her correct description of her job, but that is kind of what played out in the.
Well, I guess so that the precedence doesn't change in the office, and I know Robbie's helping. My 2 cents would be the position's 8 to 4, and we need to close the office for an hour in there for lunch. And, you know, maybe there's somebody in another department, like you mentioned, Sarah, maybe she could go down and cover. I don't know, but I just hate to manipulate the whole perception of how this office operates for one person, because then it's gonna just snowball into 20 other people wanting special treatment. That's my only concern. I mean, I'm all for helping and working through stuff with folks, just makes me nervous. We're gonna go down a road that we're gonna regret in 6 months. Yes, does any other county employees have any feedback on this they wanna put out there?
I feel sorry for her myself, but what are you gonna do? I don't know. She has stepped up and done a lot.
I work 24 hours a day.
Do you take a lunch?
Sometimes.
There you go.
Sometimes I'll take a breakfast and a lunch.
Right.
And then dinner.
I've been up there when she's been getting a little busy. It gets a little hectic.
I say we deal with it, and if it comes back 6 months, bite us, we deal with it. And it's pretty sad an employee wanting to help work with us, because it ain't like we're favoring somebody. This employee's helping us.
No, I get it 100%.
Right.
I mean,
And we got, if,
I'm
like
just
Lynn
worried
said,
about
we
HR
can't work,
problems,
then we
but
change the
I
hours
feel sorry for her.
for now, you know, and the whole county should know what's going on. Like I say, it ain't, I didn't know Robbie from Matt until I come here.
Right.
It ain't like we know, we're like, she's our buddy. And I think she's doing huge, I just hate to. I said we leave it like it is and change the hour, that's mine.
I will say she did stay when the rest left.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, if you change the hours, can't you just put a sign under a temporary basis or something that?
That's what I'm saying.
That's it, I think it'd be, that needs to be temporary, I mean, obviously, with. Jen,
She's always,
I can tell you when Mary was there by herself or there was no one in the office, they do have a sign on the counter. It says, we'll be back at such and such time. If somebody comes in. That was also, I mean, and I hate to be the bringing it back, but with that, there being a walkway or that door open there, we could go over there and we would help. I mean, there is. As we all know, and I'll just put it, I don't. I am what I am. I did not have the issues with Bose or Mary that a lot of people had. And we were able to communicate. That situation has changed. I know I talked, and Charlie, to you because I talked with Donnie and Mike at separate times. The office morale has changed, and with that being said, we do try and help and go there with Robbie. Robbie is a very quiet person, but at the same time, she is going to be that person and she will help you, but she just wants it to be communicated, and she's not going to jump on somebody or approach them unless she is trying to protect herself. And I had no idea you guys were talking about this. I was just coming to see, but with her not being here, I feel that for what she has done for the county, there needs to be somebody to stand up and say, hey, you've done a great job. Because like Jim said, when everybody else left, she stayed.
absolutely. So
I don't
she,
care if you like somebody or not, but
Right.
right's right, wrong's wrong.
so she did 80 hours, Michael.
Pardon?
She did 80 hours. Are you paying her part-time?
We used to.
And that's what I'm saying. Is she getting part-time pay right now?
No, I don't know what, oh, her hourly wage, you
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, I think she's
That's
still,
what I'm saying. We got her working 80 hours. Paying her part-time.
because that's how she was hired, was
I
part-time.
understand that. But that's what I'm saying. Here again, she's doing us a favor. She ain't benefiting nothing out of it.
In my opinion matters, I agree with Donnie that just change the hours of the office to accommodate.
Till we get things accomplished.
Yeah.
And if other people, if other employees in the county can't handle that, if they're upset by that temporary situation, they should be aware that come something happens in their office or they have a problem. I mean, it's not like we're gonna do this for Robbie and only Robbie and nobody else will ever get the opportunity to be accommodated by the county when it needs to be done. You know what I mean? So I say accommodate Robbie the best you can, and but if that's changing the office hours, letting her go home at 3 or whatever, that's what I would do.
And if nobody's in the office, then maybe the answering machine, if they have an answering
Yes, they
machine,
do.
could tell the hours.
And that could be a sign-in sheet. They can still get in, sign in, leave their phone number. They can be called. in
I
the
mean,
morning if
hopefully
they
it's
come
only
in.
another, month anyhow, if that.
Yeah, we're hoping to get.
We have a lot of
Well, that's
applicants.
what I'm saying. So hopefully it won't even last long.
We had this,
It seems to me that she's the one who's been accommodating. And all you really gotta do is find out who said she couldn't close the office for an hour and change that.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say we change the hours temporary and
And
temporarily.
Jack was like,
Yeah,
Jen said, make it 8 to, or 9 to 4, whatever.
yeah.
If she wants to come in an hour late, then come in an hour late.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
9 to 4 would be better.
That's my opinion.
yeah. I mean, I agree
And is
with
that
you.
gonna be the pay on the hours then, Michael? Ain't she gonna work out on the right hours?
that takes her down to 7 hours a day. And I'm not sure, maybe Roberta knows. Is it 8 hours is the cut?
It's usually 8. Is she getting breaks?
Well, she should be entitled to breaks.
She should be getting paid breaks.
Right.
As long as she stays under 8 hours. She should be okay. If she's working 8 though, technically if she's working 8, she's gotta get a paid lunch. That's where the whole thing gets a little sticky.
I don't think it has to be paid.
No, it doesn't have to be a paid
Yeah.
lunch.
If she's only gonna be here for 7.
That keeps her under
Right.
8.
Thing is,
I
if
never had
she's-
paid lunch and all.
No, my husband never had a paid lunch either in all the
He's
years.
worked 14 hours a day and I never had a paid lunch.
I
No,
was gonna say, you did.
my husband worked 12 hours a day and he never got a paid lunch.
If she stays at the 7, which is exactly probably why we work 35 hours with an hour paid lunch, or an hour lunch. So 7 hours should be the threshold. So I would say if she wants to leave at 3, just have Stanley update the website temporarily to show the new hours.
I'm gonna get him
Put signs on the doors.
On the doors.
Yeah, and then
And say that it's only
leave a sign-in
temporary.
sheet. If somebody comes in after hours, they can sign in. Somebody will call them. I think you did that when you were out once.
Yeah.
It was
we've
like a
got,
sign-in sheet, yeah.
I agree.
So if you come in, somebody will get back to you in the morning.
Jen, did she say she would prefer 9 to 4 over 8 to 3?
No, all she has ever said to me was that her code enforcement hours was 8 to 3 because she went out and she never really took the lunch. Then she would come back and she left 3 to 4 was her lunch. That's when people were there. What she did say was when I talked about it, I said, well, are you doing that now? She says that she was told by someone that she was not, that they didn't know if she would be able to be doing that because she should be taking a lunch. And she said,
And yeah.
then office hours was 8 to 4. But that was okay by the administration for her to take leave at 3. I cannot speak for her. But I think that if you approach her and tell her one way, if you feel one way is better than the other, she would probably go with anything. Right now, she just
Needs an answer.
she needs an answer because she's in limbo and she's like, she doesn't really know what to do and she's just in limbo with that.
Yeah, so I actually had a sit down conversation with her and I explained that she needed to stay at 35 hours. I don't remember the conversation as to the 8 to 4 or how we got there. I think the conversation was 8 to 4 and she needed to take a lunch. But it was definitely capped at 35 hours. And that was 2 weeks ago that conversation happened and she's turned in another payroll for 80 hours. That's why I want to get this nipped in the bud, to make sure we're all on the same page, so there's no question as to where we're headed from here. Sounds like you guys are in agreement that you're good with her closing the office early, 7-hour days, capping at 35 hours a week. And, she can just put a sign up at 3 that says that it's closed.
And she can even keep it on there all day.
Yeah.
You know, it's all.
Closed at 3.
Temporary,
Okay.
deal or whatever.
Another quick comment. I know I'm the negative Nancy in the bunch, but if you are the planning commission president and you are a commissioner and you gave direct orders to an employee to only work a maximum of 35 hours per week 2 weeks ago, and they continue to do it against your authority, will there be any kind of disciplinary action taken?
I guess I don't know that we need to take, I mean, it could have just been
That's
miscommunication.
what I was just gonna say.
And that's why
How did you say, or did you put it in writing?
No, this was conversation, but I guess that's why I really want to get this defined today, that the
Yeah.
3 of us are agreeing on where we're going from here. I knew that we needed to get 35 hours nipped in the bud, and that was the goal. Somehow that's been sidestepped, but we need to get it corrected going forward.
So before the next payroll comes before you and we get in trouble, do you want us to pay her the 80 hours that she actually worked, or just pay her the 70 that you told her was all she could get?
I think we need to pay her for 80. If she's actually worked 80, we gotta pay her for 80. But we need to get a result moving forward. Are you guys, is that an accurate statement from the 3 of us? Okay.
And if you guys want, I can call her tomorrow, or if you want us to make the decision tonight, that's what we'll do.
Well, I think we should.
3, or we go 9 to 4.
Yeah, and one of the thoughts that I had was, if we make a decision, maybe I could reach out to Gene and explain it to him, and then him and her could sit down and talk about it, just to make sure she understands. Or we can handle it ourselves if you want, but I know Gene is good at communicating.
I mean, if we decide 8 to 3, I'll just call her tomorrow and tell her, or you can have Gene, whatever. Then there again, you got kind of like Dwayne saying that it's not one of us down there, it's Gene.
That's true.
Nothing against Gene.
Well, it will be in the minutes from tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's pretty set in stone, I would think, if we agree on it tonight, that's what's moving forward.
If Don wants to call her, I think
Yeah.
I'd like
Either
that.
way, whatever you guys want,
Well, we probably should get an email.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So is that what you guys want, 7 or 8 to 3?
Or she can pick 9 to 4.
Right,
But we need to know,
yeah.
We don't want it flip flopping.
Yeah.
We need to pick
yes,
it.
it can't be this week and next week.
I'd let
And
her
this
pick,
is all getting set up temporarily
I'd let her,
until,
I'd let her pick between them two options
Yeah.
and see what she wants to do.
So you're gonna make the motion with her picking the hours though?
one or the other. It's not gonna flip flop.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Right.
We're
solid.
gonna get rid of the option,
Okay.
and then, but it'll be decided on. So I'll send an email out, you guys respond.
Yeah,
Right.
make sure you detail it
Right.
pretty good.
And that's just temporary, till you guys reorganize the office.
Right. So how about I make a motion that Robbie can work a 7-hour workday from 8 to 3 or 9 to 4 without a lunch, but her hours need to be capped at 35 hours a week. And this is gonna be temporary until our first meeting in August, and then we can extend it if need be.
You know, the meeting is paid separate, out of a different fund.
Yes, and I did talk to her about that as
Okay.
well.
I mean, I wanna put that in there too, just so, yeah.
Because when she turned in her last, she had 3 extra hours for overtime. While the pay for the meeting actually was probably more in her favor. So we did away with the 3 hours with the meeting pay.
But I want her to know she's still gonna get meeting pay, you know, even though
Correct.
she's up there at 75.
So that's your motion?
That was the motion, as worded as that is.
So a motion and a second, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
if someone has to work 7 hours, can you actually mandate no lunch?
Well, this is a temporary basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're only extending
I
this
mean,
to our
if
first
you
meeting in
work
August.
8, you get a lunch break.
Correct.
I don't know what the working laws.
That's what I don't know, I have to ask Justin that.
You know,
Yeah, he's gone, it looks like.
Hmm.
But
yeah, I don't know if there's some requirement where you, even at 7 hours, you have to offer a
you,
lunch.
you do not have to at 7 hours that I'm not.
Offer breaks.
Yeah,
It's separate.
15 minute break.
but we're only extending this to our first meeting in
Right.
August, and then we can reconvene from there. This is a special circumstance for Robbie's
Yeah.
situation up there.
For art of sorts.
Right.
Not Rob.
Right, yeah. You got anything else, Mike?
Yeah, just one quick thing. Leases by the commissioners, for business and for farm. I think this is something that we should probably set up in a meeting between the three of us. I think there's some farm ground that maybe is being rented that belongs to the commissioners.
Yep.
And I'm not sure we're actually charging for that.
Right, I don't think we are.
I don't think we
Yeah.
are either, because we're not receiving money for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I guess I'd like us to sit down and hash out what all that is, so maybe next year we can clean some of that up.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
So would you guys be okay with? I don't know, maybe Michaeline can send an email and we can try to schedule something for the next month or so.
Sure.
For a quick meeting to discuss that. And Justin's not on here, but he could give us the IC code to make sure it's legal.
yeah.
And then we can present it to the public.
That you brought it up, we got them people wanting that land too for sale. But don't seem right to me.
Right, but we can discuss that. And then after the executive meeting, if there's anything we need to make public or we need to vote on anything, we could do that in the next meeting. Michaeline, would you mind sending out an email? Yeah, we'll see if we can't get it scheduled. Should we could even maybe do it before our next regular.
Right.
So we don't make two trips. Shouldn't take more than 15-20 minutes.
Hopefully Justin. Bill.
Maybe.
I have a question about your farm ground. Does anybody have any other information? Cause I was called about it and I was looking up to see if there was a lease that could be found or something, but I had no information whatsoever on like who, like the farmer that was farming it. All I could look up was 5 commissioners and I couldn't find any.
I just kind what Mike's talking about,
yeah.
and we need to get a handle on it.
Yep.
Do you know the farmer that? Or,
I don't know the farmers.
okay, I didn't know if there was.
I heard a name before, but I
I've heard it.
I can't remember who it was now, but.
How are we gonna find out who's farm?
Well, you could go to.
Stop it for one.
Right.
Wait,
Yeah, but-
planting season.
FSA, if they got anything certified, they would have it there, but.
We can look it up now.
Go in there with a weed chopper.
Right.
But I think, I'm not sure on the farm ground, we can look at that, but it may be something that we actually need to post. And do bids for like a
Yes,
5-year
yeah.
lump of time
Yeah.
or something.
That's how it should,
Yeah.
I mean.
Talk about it, but if we sell it in one.
Yeah.
Whatever. I wouldn't talk.
Yeah.
That's all.
Don, did you have
The
any?
only thing I got is,
What you need.
we got a new committee, I guess, Stark County Government. Did we vote on that?
Stark County government.
Yeah, Stark County Government. Doing parades and stuff, I mean, it's representing us,
Certain offices, yes.
pardon me?
There was no committee established. It was just offices working together to bring awareness to the community and things. I honestly didn't think it was gonna cause a problem. I thought it would be, for transparency and to draw people together. I didn't think of it as a negative.
I honestly take it as a negative because half the people on there is troublemakers for Stark County.
And that's your opinion and
That's what I'm
that's.
saying, that's my opinion, so
Okay,
I think if you're gonna represent the county, the whole county needs to know.
okay, that's
And
fine.
that's all I was asking these
Yeah.
two, if, did we decide there was a committee or what?
Okay. If we decide to do anything in the future, we'll be sure to include other offices if that's what you'd like.
At least the commissioners first.
Well, I mean, we did in this building. I asked Michaeline and I went down and talked to Michelle.
That's why I say the commissioners.
And I'll be
Oh,
honest,
I'm sorry, the commissioners.
I
Okay.
knew about it, but I didn't even think about it needing to come in front of the board.
Well, I just, like I say, to me. And I'm not gonna name names, nothing, to me, there's half of them on there that has been called control for Stark County. And they're representing us, I don't want them representing me,
It had the commissioners and the council names on it.
named right on the.
Well, that's because we were gonna have a commissioner present on the float and the council member that was present was Bruce Bennett. So each office that was listed, there was a representative from that office on there.
But apparently they want them for a commissioner, that's all I'm
No, he
saying,
wasn't.
it's come to the commissioners first.
Right.
We're the ones that are over, who
Right.
represents us.
Yeah, originally I told her that I would walk with them in the parade, but I was out of town.
Okay,
But it didn't even occur to me to have them come in front of the commissioners and get permission.
right, and that's why I say the way it's worded was what bothered me,
It just said Stark County government on there. is what it said. Yeah,
which is part of me.
right. And you know what? You're part of us too, Donnie, and I don't like your
Absolutely.
behavior most of the time either, and you're representing the people. So maybe you should think about that when you are talking to troubled people.
I will, I
appreciate
do
that.
every time,
Thank you.
yep.
Well, and on that same note, I think there was good intentions with the parade, and maybe you feel different.
Right,
And next year, I think if they decide to do it again as a group, within the offices here, I think you're right. Maybe they should come to the commissioners, get the okay. But I think it should be open to if other county employees want to walk with them.
oh, absolutely, I think the
Should
whole
be
county
available.
should have been, but the whole county won't know, right, commissioners won't even know.
But I think it was a good thought, and maybe it just went sideways, or maybe, maybe the intentions weren't meant the right way, but I think it was meant to be a positive reflection upon the county and try to get the folks here in the office to.
Right, and
work together.
like she said, others were asked, but like I was asked, but I couldn't do it that day. Michelle was asked, but she was already obligated to a different float. So I mean, I don't feel she had any negative intentions.
But I think you're right. Next year, I have her come to the commissioners and just make sure that since it's gonna be a government flow.
Right,
Tell you what,
So-
next year, I'll run the float as a private citizen, then nobody has any say who's on it.
as long as you don't put under control of Stark County.
I think
I
that's
would
what
be fine
Don,
with.
So should I get on the agenda? Because I would actually
That
like.
we don't have to do this, like this person, don't like this person, like this fan. Have
That ain't what I'm saying.
Who's
dude.
gonna be on what?
That ain't what I'm saying, yeah, I'm saying you guys are trying to represent us, you're representing me. You never asked if you can represent me.
We didn't do anything.
I'm just saying, he spoke up now, I'm just answering him.
I think, let's just lower the temperature here. You're right, it's gotten out of hand, but I think
Absolutely.
next year, if it's gonna be called a government flow, it should come to the commissioners.
And be voted on as a government float, and not an individual.
If we're gonna call it a government flow,
Exactly.
right? And I think that's a reasonable request. If it's gonna be called a
What I'm
government
saying.
flow.
So you got none?
That's all I got.
Anyone else have anything for us? Jen?
So I guess I'm just going to, I wanna make sure with the. With the wall going up, is that you guys have decided and you will not reconsider leaving an opening for that?
Not at this time, I don't think.
I agree. Not this time.
I'm good with proceeding with it.
Yeah. 'Cause I
You
mean,
know,
it's
like I said,
been,
And like they said, it could always be took down
Yeah.
later.
I,
Went up,
yeah,
like I said, Charlie, I have spoke and. I will tell you exactly, I spoke with Donnie at the fair. And told him. Exactly, let me just set that. When Mike and Donnie came to the office. I voiced my concerns about the door. That is still my concern, or the walkway, the issue. You were not there.
mhm,
I spoke with Donnie at the fair and I told him I still had the same issues
mhm,
with the door. I understand. Mike came to the office and spoke to Robbie. Because he, whether it was called there or what, but I know he was contacted. I spoke with him and my things I said to him was. I am sure you guys are tired of hearing about this door. Or the wall. You guys have to do, but my stance has not changed from day one. That is why I'm here. I am a pretty honest and person. If I say something, I'll admit it. If I don't, I won't. But that's why I'm here. I talked to Mike, I talked to Donnie, and I talked to you. You have to do what you feel. I understand that, but that's why I'm voicing it. I have not seen you, I have seen you in the office, but you have not come up to where I could talk to you, and you are the contact for this building.
I know, but they still got.
I understand, but
input
that's why
too.
I'm here to talk to you.
I think, like I said, at this time, let's get it done, and then we can change it down the road if we need to.
You do
Mandy?
understand that the wall on both sides is going up, like no matter what. It was just leaving that doorway, that walkway between the planning commission and the recorder's office. Nothing else was changing. Both walls were both going up. It was just leaving that opening. I'm sorry, but if we have an active shooter come in, we have no way out. No way out. Our only chance is either to hide in my little office, in the recorder's room, or skate through that walkway to get to the other side. You close that off, the only option we have is a little office. So that's why we're asking. It's not about who likes who doesn't like who. I even voiced my opinion to begin with, not to close that walkway from day one. I asked for a bump out for books. That's all I asked for. And then it came into some kind of huge wall going off both opposites. We have the bump out, and I'm okay with putting a wall up where there was the other half wall, but I still believe that we need to leave that walkway open for safety purposes. A fire. Both of our exits are in one side of the building.
I believe we'll check with the fire marshal, and it was okay.
Yeah, Lonnie
Yeah.
came up several times and I think he said.
That's fine. The fire marshal says it's okay for us to burn.
Ours, I'm not knocking anything, but our office is the same way.
Yeah, but you guys don't, you're not divided. Your complete office is open.
But it's still one exit.
You know, there's still only one exit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, like.
Ain't find worse spot in the building. I get it, I understand it, but I still feel at this time we leave the wall up. We can always take it down. We can take it down next meeting, but right now it stays up, my opinion.
Or add a door down.
Right,
Right, it could always be changed.
Yeah.
Let's get the thing up and then.
Then let's put a door there. Instead of putting the wall there.
Right
Right
now,
now-
I'm comfortable with moving forward with
Just
the way
all
we
mine,
got
just like
it.
you do.
Yeah,
Let's get the wall down.
Okay.
Does anyone else have
And then
any?
just real quick, the
Go
next
ahead.
commissioners meeting isn't until the 21st. And I know since I'm elected, I wouldn't have to ask permission to do a float, but since I'm including a Stark County government in there, I was hoping to do another float on the 27th at Bass Lake. That would be Stark County government. And I would be open to as many people, of course, that would like to do it. So I'm just asking for your blessing with that, I guess, because that didn't give me much time to register for the parade if I don't ask tonight.
I think if it's open to county employees and it's called Stark County Government, I'm fine with it. I mean, as long as intentions down the road don't go negative in some way, if employees want to go to this thing, I'm good with it.
I'm okay with employees going, the whole county going to, if I'm not okay with it, go Stark County government. That's my opinion, I'm only one,
So then the highway trucks won't be allowed to be in either then, right?
that ain't what I said.
No, I know I'm asking you. That was a question.
What's the highway truck got to do with Stark County government?
Well, it's a Stark County government highway truck.
Right, they can be in its own, they don't have to be with you.
No, I understand that. So it's okay for them to be in there, but not the Stark County
Yeah.
government employees?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You can put Stark County employees, or however you want, as government, absolutely not. That's my opinion, I'm only one,
Nope, that's fine.
yeah.
I think I get where you're coming from on it. I guess I don't see it in that negative light
Right.
as you're concerned
Right.
with.
Right, and I mean, we can talk play wing time tonight.
Right.
Talk play tonight, I think you know exactly what I mean.
I think I understand where you're
Right.
coming from, but I still think the intentions of it were in a positive light. And your concerns are in a negative way.
Absolutely.
So, but again, if it's something to bring the offices together and the offices are interested in doing it, I'm all for it.
And that's what I said, Stark County offices, Stark County Annex Building 1, whatever. But Stark County government, I'm not okay.
What about Stark County government employees? Is that, I mean, that would be,
You guys word it however you want, I'm not okay.
well, I guess Charlie, you get to make the deciding
About
vote
that.
here.
And born and raised here, been here 65 years, and I never had it separated like it.
What do you mean separated?
The Stark County government. It's in one. It's not in it.
Well, I don't know, has there ever been a Stark County government float?
That's, we said, like that, no, there was no reason. What's the
Maybe-
reason now?
Well, maybe this is an attempt for the employees to come
I
together.
think it is. You ain't gonna get my side.
I understand.
You do whatever you want, Mike.
We're gonna disagree.
Absolutely. If there was, nah, I'm not even discussing.
Partly just drop it. It's fine. There's no decision needs to be made. It's dropped. Anything that's positive turns into a negative and it's not worth it.
Does anyone else have anything for us?
So my name's Dale Turner. I submitted a letter of intent to be placed on the planning commission. Maybe I misunderstood, but I thought this was where it was to go and you guys decided on that. I
Right.
submitted that email.
I seen your application. I thought it was a really nice
Yeah.
application.
Okay, does that get voted tonight or no?
I mean, aren't we, we're still looking for
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
point.
How many
right?
spots we still got on?
Well, I think two, but we do need to figure out the whole Democrat Republican thing, and that's why I was kind of nervous about picking another one.
And that's why they didn't do it tonight. Same as Mike, I seen your email, I liked it.
Yeah,
I was hoping me or him or Charlie one could call you
Yeah,
personally. And, I do know your wife supplied, sent one also. But my opinion, I'm only one that I don't know the husband and wife.
I don't
Cause that's one vote, you know.
I don't think she submitted a letter of intent yet.
Okay, I thought I seen one. Maybe not. But your
I
name
think
is.
he
up
would have
there.
said in his email that she would be interested, but I don't think she submitted.
Something like
I've
that.
got his letter right here.
well, I think by the next meeting, we all have a goal to
Yeah.
try to get these
Yeah.
votes done.
yeah.
And your phone number was on there, right?
It was on the email yesterday.
Yes,
It's
it's
on,
on the email and it's on this.
So let's have a goal next meeting, we'll fill the vacancies.
Yeah. let's get that
We do
done.
need to check though, to make sure we're filling the right
Democrats,
slots.
okay, I
Right.
don't know where we're at.
I think Gwen sent something, didn't you?
Like that.
Did you send something on the rules on planning commission and? what?
No, I didn't.
No, I thought I saw.
We
that.
do have it, I'll have to do some digging.
Oh, okay.
We've all got a copy of
Yeah.
it somewhere
Oh, okay.
from the beginning of the year.
So, and if you can't make our next meeting, we can still vote
Yeah,
for or against you, but we can call you
And your next meeting's the 21st. So I understand.
At 9:30
in the
AM.
morning.
It's a morning meeting, 9:30 AM.
Thank you.
yes, sir.
Thank you. Motion adjourned,
So,
Did it-
anyone else?
well, Rachel's already gone there. We was asked about that road for the Hamlet Industrial Park. It's not on our inventory. I think we need to get it on our inventory. Like I say, Rachel's gone.
Yeah, she felt different about it.
Oh, did she?
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe you and I should talk to her,
okay,
or
Yeah.
maybe separately, of
right,
course.
yeah. Yep.
I'll recheck with her, but I'm pretty sure she told me she was not in favor of it.
Okay,
Motion adjourned.
so move.
Second.
There we go.
Right.
Who
Yeah.
seconded it?
I'll second it.
I'm not sure.
That's where that goes, your opinion. No, no, I don't wanna take your good pen. I know who you are, you don't have to say anything.
What's that?
Can I have a pen?
Yes, you can. See?
Thank you very much.
Nice dog.
You know, you chip.
That way people know who I am.
Those are $5 pens.
Yeah.
Too bad.
I paid what, $10 a piece for that?
No, no.
Not $45, this is new.